प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपीं मनोहरम् यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि गुरुणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपादेशकोद्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे। महादेव महादेव महादेव। So the topic that we are dwelling on is Hiranyagarbha Ishvara himself or not? So we say Hiranyagarbha is Ishvara alone. Ishvara himself now, the manifestation of Ishvara is as Hiranyagarbha. The manifestation of Ishvara is as Vaishvanara. And in this particular manifestation, Ishvara, along with his conditioning of the Samashti Karana Deha, also has the conditioning of Samashti Sukshma Deha, the totality of subtle body, the total subtle body. So over here, we come across a discussion in the Brahma Sutras, which is focusing on a section from the Upanishad called as the Upakosala Vidya. This particular Upasana also allows us to understand it is Ishvara himself manifesting as Hiranyagarbha. Because even by looking at the phalam of that particular Upasana, also by looking at the various attributes over there of the Upasya, the one who is meditated upon, we have now sufficient reason, adequate reason to understand that it is Ishvara. Okay. So how is this particular Adhikaranam, the section of that Upanishad, Brahma Sutra goes? So it brings you this particular Upakosala Vidya by saying meditating upon the Purusha, on this conscious being who is obtained in the eye. Now, there were various, what do they call, vikalpas, options which immediately surfaced, saying that the Purusha, the conscious being in the eye could be the reflection of the person. So should we meditate on the reflection in this of the person in the eye, in the pupil? Or is it Devata, the presiding deity of the Indriya, Chakshurindriya, that is being indicated over here? Or is it the Jiva, the experiencer who now claims that I am seeing, and because he's seeing means he is available, obtained in the eye? Or is it Parameshwara? Now these are the various things which have come up. Yeah. Evam prapte brumaha, on page number 104, the second paragraph in the commentary section. Evam prapte brumaha. Thus, when we are confronted with this kind of a fix, where we have to determine who is, or should we, anybody can be meditated upon. We need a proper judgment. Evam prapte brumaha. Thus, having come to this dead end, he says, Akshisthane Parameshwaraha evo Vasyattvena nirdishyate na chhayadihi. Parameshwara eva. It is Paramatma alone who is being shown as the upasya vastu, the one to be meditated upon, is Parameshwara alone. Nirdishyate, not any chaya purusha, etc. Na chhayadihi. Kasmad vakyasheshagata sanyadvamatva vamanitva bhamanitva amritatvadi gunajatasya parameshwaraha eva parameshware eva upapattehe itaratra sambhava. Because when we look at the entire sentence or the whole concerned section of that Upanishad, of that Upakosala Vidya, we understand that there are various attributes of the one who is to be meditated upon, mentioned over there. All these attributes, when you take into consideration, are not applicable to the chaya, the reflection, not applicable to the devata, not applicable to the jiva, and therefore all these attributes, which are said to be the attributes of this Purusha, the one who is being meditated upon, that conscious being who is meditated upon in the eye. So a location is also given. Okay, where? In the eye. This is Upanishad. This is these are the Vedic upasanas, based on which the tantras, etc., are able to give us the drawing from here. The tantra, Agama Shastra can give you the upasanas, but this is the source which we really are not aware of. So now, Vakyasheshagata sanyadvamanatva vamanitva bhamanitva amritatvadi gunajatasya parameshware eva upapattehe itaratra asambhavat. Kincha vakyopakrame. But when the whole discourse began, it is said, Prano Brahma Kam Brahma Kham Brahma iti Sukha Vishishta Brahma Vidhana Yesho Kshani Purusho Drishyate iti atrapi yah esha sarvanamno prakrita paramarashatvena tasya eva pratyabhijnanat. Now, when this whole thing began, it began by saying, what is this Brahma? Prana Brahma, Kam Brahma, Kham Brahma. This Prana is Brahma. Kam Brahma, Sukham is Brahma, Kham is space, and Kam is Sukham. Sukham meaning the joy. So we now understand it is Brahman, Paramatma, which is said as shown as Sukha Visheshta, meaning Brahman with the attribute of Sukham. What is the attribute? One of the attributes that is Sukham, the joy, with the attribute of joy. Sukha Visheshta Brahma Vidhana. Now, so this is Brahma. So now, full stop. Then the next sentence begins, Yesho Kshani Purusho Drishyate. Now this Purusha, this being who is seen in the eye, this being who is obtained in the eye. So we have a pronoun, Eshaha, Sarvanam, pronoun. And a very interesting part of this usage of pronoun is one can use pronoun only when the noun has been indicated before. For example, understand, Rama is Dashratha's son. He goes to forest. So sentence one is Rama is Dashratha's son. The second sentence is he goes to forest. Now you pick up the second sentence, we find a pronoun he over there. Now by that pronoun he, what is it that you understand? This is a separate sentence other than the first sentence. But the second sentence uses the pronoun he. In that second sentence, the pronoun, every word indicates its own object. So what is it that becomes available to you, to your cognition, by the pronoun he? That pronoun he helps you to cognize something. What is it? So then you say, over here, the pronoun he indicates Dashratha's son Ram. Got it? So the pronoun allows you to bring something from what was indicated earlier. So that is not directly said over here, but the pronoun gives you this privilege to draw something what was indicated before. Esha Purusha, this Purusha, this. By this, what is meant? Sukha Visheshta Brahma from the earlier sentence. Sukha Visheshta Brahma. Okay. So, iti atrapi yah esha sarvanamo prakrita paramarshtvena tasya eva pratyabhijnana. What do you recognize? Pratyabhijna means recognition. Pratyabhijna means recognition. Pratyabhijnana, because there is the Kashmiri Shaivism is also called as Ishvara Pratyabhijna. Finally, what is the form of realization according to them? It is not cognition, it is recognition. And Vedanta, we say it is cognition. There is a little difference, but that is not important at this point. The word pratyabhijna is what you understand. Pratyabhijnana. Prakrita paramarshtvena tasyeva pratyabhijnana. So the word this, eshaha, this one, allows you to understand the one who was indicated before as Sukha Vishishta Brahma. Sukha Viha Acharya Stute Gatim Bhakti. How Acharya Stute Gatim Bhakta Ityagha Iti Agninam Vachanach Vakyopakrame Nirdishtam Sukhavishishtam Brahma Ihakshistane Theyatvena Upadishyate iti Gamyate. So now the Vakyam is that your teacher shall speak to you and explain you what is the finality. Take Gatim Bhakti. Who said that? No, this Upakosala is a student living under the tutelage of studying under the tutelage of a teacher. The story is going to follow in the words. And then he was given the knowledge by Agni Devata. The Devata himself came and explained him what is that Upasana, etc. And thus, this boy's face and everything was lit up as a result of his Upasana. The teacher came back. He had gone on a tour somewhere. He says, what? Your whole thing is changed, which means that you have done the Upasana. What is it? Who told you? So, and then he tells, and he also said that the Agni said that the teacher will tell you what is next, or what is the finality. So that then the teacher gives him the knowledge. That is the story over there. So Parameshwarasya Upasanatham, where is it? Upadishyate, Dheyatvena Upadishyate. Now, though the Vakyam says Parameshwara should be meditated upon, where in the eye. Now somebody is going to come and say, oh, how can God be, God is all pervasive. How can God be meditated only in the eye? For the sake of meditation, there is nothing wrong. We can meditate. If God is all pervasive, why not in the eye? Everywhere. Somebody came the other day, many years ago. Oh, God is everywhere, or God is something. Why will God be there in your temple? God has no problem being in temple. What is your problem? It becomes available to us for doing the upasana. What is the problem? So therefore, iha akshisthane dheyatvena. So how is Parmeshwara said? The one to be meditated upon. Where? In the eye. Upadishyate. Anyatha, if this is not going to be how you are going to understand the whole prakarana, the entire topic, what will happen? Prakritahana. Now that's what we are allowed to understand by the sentences. You will reject that, and then you will have an imagination of something which is not brought to our understanding by the sentences, but by your imagination. Okay, so we don't want your imagination over here. It's simply that what the sentences allow us to understand. Those words have their own power to make you understand something. Anyatha prakritahana prakrita prakriya sangat Parmeshwarasyapi upasanatham akshisthanatvam upapadyate. How why Parmeshwara is only can there is a logic why that Parmeshwara can be meditated upon in the eye, etc. If you can say God is there in the heaven, why not in the eye? Why not? Who are you only to restrict God to stay in the heaven and not anywhere else? If God can take your diktats, why will He be God? You will be the God. So, Parmeshwarasyapi upasanatham akshisthanatvam upapadyate. Tasmat Parmeshwaraha eva upasyaha. That's why it is Parmeshwara only who is upasya. Now, we will go to this a little bit into the story part of that Upakoshala Vidya. Okay. Upakoshalena adhigata vidya upakoshala vidya tasyam yam akhyayika. Now, that form of meditation which is called as vidya over here, knowledge, was acquired by Upakoshala, one Rishi Kumara from the Vedic time called as Upakoshala. Now, since that was his upasana, the upasana further came to be known as Upakoshala Vidya only. So, Upakoshala Vidya Tasyam, and there is this Tasyam. In that Upakoshala Vidya, there is this particular Akhyayika. Akhyayika means a story which is meant to deliver some principle to be understood. Upakoshalo havai kamalāyanaha satyakame chavale brahmacharyam uvase iti shrutau iyam amnata. In the Upanishad itself, the story goes as Upakoshala, who was Kamalayana, coming from the family, etc. So that could be used as a surname. Upakoshalo havai Kamalayanaha Satyakame Chabale. He stayed with the teacher called as Satyakama Chabal. Brahmacharyam Uvase, he stayed for that stipulated period of his studenthood. So that is how the student would go to the teacher, learn, stay over there. Shrutau iyam amnata. The story is related in the Shruti. Upakoshalo nama kaschit brahmachari. There was this brahmachari. What do they call him as what do they call him? A residential student. So those students would then, after they were invested with the sacred thread, the father would take the student, he would take the permission of his mother, and then the mother will give her blessings and say, now son, you go and you study and come back successfully, having learned, and then come back to us. Till then, for that stipulated period, he will be staying with the teacher. Upakoshalo nama kaschit brahmacharye satyakamasya guroho nikate brahmacharyam kritavan. So where did he stay? With Satyakama. His teacher's name is Satyakama. A nice name also. Anybody wants to name a boy? Satyakama. Satyakamasya guroho nikate brahmacharyam kritavan. Tam upakoshalam shishyam agni paricharya nimittam grihe sthapayitva guruhu satyakamo dravyarjanartham deshantaram jagama. Now the teacher had to take care of that entire Gurukula, of all the students, etc. He had to treat them as his own sons, own children, and take care of their food and clothes and well-being and medicines, everything, along with the teaching. So now, in that purpose, and there were several ones, so the teacher naturally had to make arrangements for the funds, etc. Then what would he do? The teacher himself is a grahastha. He is an householder. So now he has the duty to perform of doing the Agnihotra. The sacrificial fire is there, and that fire has to be offered. The oblations every day, morning, afternoon, evening, with the mantras, etc. So he appointed his student to take care of that Agni. Agni Paricharya Nimittam Grihe Sthapayatva. He said that you stay here and I will be going out for a few days so that we can bring some funds. And so he left. Ha Deshantaram Jagama. Tada Upakoshalasya Paricharyaya Santushtaha Tretagnayo Brahmavidyam Upadidishu. Then this Agni Devata, the fire god, was pleased by Upakoshala's seva, the way he served the fire with her devotion, etc. The fire was pleased, and the Agni Devata appeared in front of him, and he gave him Brahma Vidya. He started instructing him in the knowledge of Brahman. Brahma Vidyam Upadidishu Prano Brahma. How he started giving. How did he give that Upadesha, the instruction, the knowledge? Prano Brahma Kam Brahma iti Anantaram Swa Vidyancha Pashchad Gati Prashne Krute Acharyaskute Gatim Vakta iti Agnayaha Uchu. Now the Agni Devata with all the three forms, okay, he Agni, that fire in all the three forms, there are three fires, okay, appeared, and then they started talking to him, gave him that knowledge, this particular upasana, prano Brahma, Brahma, etc. Then he said, what is next? Who? That Upakoshala asked, what is next? So the Agni said all three unanimously that your teacher will tell you that. Okay? Te gatim vakta iti agnayaha. Antaram agatena charena. Anantaram. Okay. Anantaram. Then later on when the teacher arrived back in the ashram, what happened? Pranatam shishyam prati. Upakosala came and offered his salutations by falling at his feet. Falling, don't think that he falls like people faint and fall in prostration at his feet. And then Pranatam Shishyam Prati. So thus found Upakosala, who still was, humble, etc. Pranatam Shishyam Prati. Brahmaven Mukhamiva Tvan Mukham Pratibhati. Hare Upakosal, your face is shining like the Brahmajnani, knower of Brahman. Your face is radiant. Brahmaven Mukhamiva Tvan Mukham Pratibhati. Yenopadishta Brahma Vidya. Who has given you this Brahma Vidya? The teacher recognized. And so Brahma Vidya does having asked like that, Agni Upadeshta, he said that Agni, fire god, Agni only has given me this Gati. And he said, Acharyo Gatim Vakshati, that Acharya, your teacher, will tell you the next thing. Gatim Vakshati iti Uktam iti Uktva Upakoshala Acharyam Sharanam Tipede. Now, thus, having told the teacher what happened in his absence, and so now he again surrendered himself at the teacher's feet. Acharyam Sharanam Pratipede. Sharanagatam Shishyam Satyakamo Guru Upadidesha. Now, thus, the one who had taken refuge, the teacher now instructed the student further. Upadidesha. Esho Kshini Purusho Drishyate. This is the teacher's Upadesha. The one who is seen in this eye is that Purusha. Ityadina. Ataha Iyam Vidya. Thus, this meditation, this upasana, because upakoshalena, because it was acquired by upakoshala from the teacher, it came to be known as upakoshala vidya. Okay, it has come to known as upakoshala vidya. Iti uchyate. Tasmin upakoshala vidya vakya vichare सूत्रकार भाष्यकाराभ्याम समष्टि प्राणोपाधिक सुख विशिष्ट परमात्मा उपास्त्या तत्प्राप्ति प्रतिपादिता इति भावः. Now, in this analyzing this upakoshala vidya, the vakya of the statements of this upakoshala vidya, both Bhagavan Sutrakara and Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Shankara Vyasa Bhagavan and Shankaracharya. Both of them, Sutrakara Bhashyakara Bhyam, according to both of them, Samashti Pranopadhika, the one who is having the conditioning of the total prana. And we all remember that prana is the part of the subtle body. So, and the total prana, samashti pranopadhika sukha vishishta paramatma upastya. So, thus meditating upon Paramatma, who is now with the attributes of totality of the prana, the total energy, totality of the vital prana. Okay, vitality. And then Sukha Vishishta is with the attribute of Sukham. This Paramatma is what is attained through this Upakoshala Vidya, thus meditating upon the Purusha in India. Now over here, we understand it is the Hiranyagarbha is meant, and this Hiranyagarbha is Ishvara himself. You know, even for once, every part of the Vakya, Nirnaya, so much the intelligence employed is phenomenal. Is phenomenal. What importance these people, how much importance they have for the Shruti Veda Vakyas. Pratipadita idanim api ishvarapam aha. Now, so we understand that yes, Hiranyagarbha is Ishvara himself, this as Ishvara manifests as Hiranyagarbha. Now, furthermore, the next sentence on page number 100 is Sa eva paramatma tatphala-praptim sambhavati. No, on page number 104. Sa eva keva san Ishvaraha iti uchyate. But when devoid this Paramatma, this conscious principle, bereft of the Samashti Upadhi, Samashti Sukshma Upadhi. Now, what is the only conditioning which is available? Samashti Karana Upadhi. Okay, Upadhi means the conditioning. What is that conditioning? The total causality. Cause of everything, the total causality. From where is everything coming? And then you will have to say, you will have to reach a point. Everybody will have to reach a point. Reaches a point. Will means reaches a point where human says, don't know because it is all done. Don't know. Unmanifest. That unmanifest is where from everything seems to be emerging out. and that is the total cause of everything. And so that is that too, when Paramatma with this conditioning of total causality is called as Ishvara. Is called as Ishvara. Sa eva kevala mayopadhikaha san Ishvara iti uchyate. Tat prapti phalam bhavati. Now, when meditated upon only as this with the conditioning of total causality, the upasaka attains that oneness with Ishvara. Okay, that is what is upasana. But the should be end over here. This is just upasana. What is where has it lead to? It has to lead for understanding clearly that Atma is Brahman, but we are not there. We are just talking about Upasana. Idani Apishwarupamaha. Now we have seen attainment of Vaishvanara as a result of that Upasana. Hiranyagarbha, Upasana of Hiranyagarbha, attainment of Hiranyagarbha. Ishvara, the Upasana of Ishvara, and attainment of Ishvara, oneness with Ishvara by this Upasaka, the meditator. Thus, Idanim api Ishvara Swarupamaha, Maya Swarupam Pran Nirupitam. So we find what is said about Ishvara. Mayopadika Chaitanyam is called as Ishvara. Consciousness with the conditioning of Maya called as Ishvara. But sir, what is Maya? That has already been discussed. So Maya Swarupa Nirupitam. It has already been Nirupitam. Sthula Sukshma Rahityam Kaivalyam. So now how does that come in the original text goes? Same. Remember, these are the sentences, these are very important because commentary is the commentary of this Paramatma alone with the conditioning just of Maya. Right? What is this just of Maya? That what is the just? Only Maya is the conditioning. Which means what is it that you are removing over there? It means that without the conditioning of the totality of the Sthula Deha or the totality of the Sukshma Deha, it is only the Karanopadhi over here. Okay, so now Samashti Sthula Sharira Rahityam Kaivalyam. That Kevala means what is that Kevala word indicating? Rahityam. Absence. Absence of what? Absence of the Sthula and Sukshma Shariras. Ya Atma Apahatapma Vityuhu Jikha Vijikatso Pipasaha Satyakama Satyasankalpaha Satatum Kurvita Manomaya Prana Shariro Bharupaha Shrutyukta Gunakaha Paramatma Ahamasmi Iti Upasanaya Tat Sambhavati Taha Ishvara Bhavapatti Phalam Bhavati Idyartha. Now that here also Over here also, we find the statements of Upanishad which are going to reveal to us the upasana of Ishvara. And the result is that one is with Ishvara. Discover oneness. I am not apart from Ishvara. One with Ishvara. I am that Ishvara. So, Sakratum Kurvita Manomaya Prana Riro Bharupaha Ityadi Shrutyukta. And how is this Ishvara? The attributes mentioned by the Shruti. This is how Ishvara also has to be meditated, and therefore Shrutyukta Gunakaha Paramatma Ahamasmi. And how is that meditation? That is what I am. Okay. Par Ahamasmi Upasana Tatra Prapti Bhavati. Ishvara Bhavapati Phalam Bhavati Yatha. That one finds now this I am Ishvara with my Tatra Sammatim Aha, oneness. Tatra Sammatim Aha. Now, in this case, this is not something that Abhishek Chaitanya or the author is right. But there is, we have reached a judgment of the Shruti statements through the Sutra and Bhashyam. Sarvatra Prasiddho Chandilya Iti Dharyayanch Sutramashakaraabhyam Yathota Ishvara Upasanaya Tat Prapti Pratipadanat Tam Yatha Upaste Tat Tathaiva Bhakti Shutescha. Sarvatra Prasiddhopadeshaditi. Now there are these two upasanas. One is called as the Shandilya Vidya. The other is called as the Dahara Vidya. Okay, these are all the various upasanas given to us by the Upanishads. We don't need all these things. We are far from all this. You understand now that how we are actually, even though take the pride in Buddhism and everything, but not knowing anything of this. Now, whatever comes to us is something which is close to these vidyas, and therefore they can have some Vedic origins, but they are not the original vidya. Over here, this is the Shakya Vidya, which was the earlier one spoken, Upakosala Vidya, when it came to Nagar. Now, meditating upon Ishvara, as in Mayodhika Chaitanyam, we have Shandilya Vidya and Dara Vidya. There are other ones, but here is discussion. How does that section of the Shandilya Vidya begin? Sarvatra, no, in that Brahma Sutra, Sarvatra Prasiddhopadeshaditi, the sutra which goes as Sarvatra Prasiddhopadeshad, actually talking about Shandilya Vidya. Dahara Uttarebhyaha, beginning Dahara Uttarebhyaha is analysis and final judgment about the Dharma. And Bhagavan Vyasa and Shankaracharya, they have shown that Yatutta Ishvara Upasanaya, meditating upon it as a show of how Ishvara was by the Shandilya, and also that one should meditate upon this. In the way prescribed by the Shandilya Vidya and Dhara Vidya, Tat Prapti, the Upanishad itself is now, it is Shuddhakyam. And the process Tat Prapti, the one will attain that Ishvara. Yatha upaste tattaiva bhav. Because the Shruti says the one who thus meditates, whatever he meditates upon and finds his identity, he becomes that. Tatra sammatim aha samanvaya lakshane sthitam sarvatra prasiddhopadeshat sarvam khalvidam brahma tajjalaniti shantopasita Ada khalu krutmaya purushaha yatha kutus tasmin loke purusho bhavati tathe tatre bhavati saktum bharupaha ityadi shruyate. We will do this part of the Shandilya Vidya and Sarvatra Prasiddhopadeshat, a little, what do they call it, synopsis of this Shandilya Vidya, which is brought to us by this teacher here. But we will do it tomorrow. Presently, just understanding this much, that it is that Paramatma alone manifests as Vaishwanara, as Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara. For Paramatma to be called as Ishvara, the conditioning is that of Samashti Karana. For Paramatma to be called as Hiranyagarbha, the conditioning is now Samashti Karana plus Samashti Sukshma. Then for Paramatma to be called as Vaishwanara, the condition Samashti Karana, Samashti Sukshma and Samashti Sthula. And the meditation has to go on, that has been told to us. By doing this upasana, one oneness over there with Vaishwanara, with Hiranyagarbha, with Ishvara. Okay? Like that. As Ishvara, as Hiranyagarbha, as Vaishwanara. This is what has been shown to us over here. Now we are going to look at the Shandilya Vidya with the aid of our Brahma Sutra. We will do that when we meet tomorrow. Brahma prasadena vishvam prakalpitam shri swayam prakashatam pranami jagatam gurum yah paramatma jagat srishtva pravivesha punasvayam tam krishnam pratyakatmanam devi manoharam yasya prasadarahamadvayatma Vishwam samastam mayi kalvitancha sarvalokaika gurum sadashri swayam prakasham gurumanatosmi gurunam charanam bhojam pranipatya nirantaram tatkripadneshato dvaita chinta kaustummarabhe om purnamadaha purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhayanam Sutra Bhashyakೃತ Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururati Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtye Namaha. Mahadev, Mahadev, Mahadev. Thank you all. Thank you very much.